Hey everybody, it's Mr. Sutton and welcome back to another basic programming tutorial. Today we're going to take a look at the sound blocks and see what we can do with them. Alright, let's get started. Okay everybody, so here's what we're going to do today. We're going to take a look at these sound blocks over here, and I want to experiment with using them. What I just did before I started making the video was I actually added some sounds to the default that comes with this, and once I added the sounds, I was able to use the pitch and the start sound blocks to actually make a song. So what I have here is I added a guitar, but I put the code on the cat, and this time instead of using the green flag just to pick something different, I have when the sprite is clicked. So when I click on the sprite, it's going to play a song that you should recognize. And then I'll show you how to do it. I'll start over. So here we go. Okay, so anybody know what that song is? For those of you who don't, it is Yankee Doodle. So what I did was I changed the pitch by different percentages. So I started with 100%. I actually have a guitar tuner out, and what I found out was that at 100% the pitch that it's playing is a G. Now, not to get too music technical, the way I know Yankee Doodle is in key of C, so I had to transpose it in my head, meaning instead of starting and ending on C, I had to start and end on G, and then in the key of G, any Fs are sharp, so I had to consider that. So in order to play this correctly, I had to figure all that stuff out. But again, this is not a music theory class, this is a coding class. So let me show you how I did it, and I'm going to get through part of it with just the basic tutorial so that you can create something similar. You can make up your own song. It would be fun, rather than just try to duplicate Yankee Doodle. All right, so let's get started. Go to File, New, and I'm going to create a new project. All right, so now, notice here I have three tabs. I have one for code, one for costumes, and one for sounds. The code and the sounds are the ones we're going to focus on the most. So I have the cat. I want to give the cat a guitar. So let's go in here and let's add a prop, sprite, right? We're going to choose a sprite, and I'm going to go to music and choose a guitar that I want. I'm going to choose the acoustic guitar like I had. Now, this guitar, if I move it over, is in a bad orientation for him to be playing, and it's also too big for the cat. So I'm going to do two things. I'm going to scale it down by changing the size of the guitar to 50%, and I also want to change the angle that pops up after I hit tab so that it looks like it's at the same angle as the hands of the cat. It's pretty close right there. So now I can put it in the cat's hands, sort of. Now, if I were really getting sophisticated, I would have it so that I have a second iteration of the cat, but erase parts so that the hand is coming over. But for now, we're not talking about anything that deep. We're just going to try and make the guitar make sounds, and I'm going to put the sounds on the guitar this time. I had started on the cat before I added the guitar. Okay, so notice now, when I have the guitar clicked, I have all these different sounds, which I didn't have when I was working on the cat. And that's nice, because if I know the notes to a song, I could actually just choose the ones I want in the sounds here. We're just going to pick that G note, and we're going to do it the way I did it before. If you'd like to experiment with these, please do. In fact, we can try it a little bit. All right, so let's go back to the code. All right, so I'm not worried about movement right now. We can worry about that in another project. I'm just going to go to my sound blocks, and let's go play the sound of the guitar. All right, so the note it's playing right now is a C. So that's what I know Yankee Doodle in. It seems to be playing a C. Yes. All right, so what I can do, remember, if we play two notes in a row, we won't hear them. We'll just hear the second note. So what we need to do is we need to add wait time like we do with the other blocks when we're doing movement. And I'm going to go 0.5 because that's a good pace. I don't want it to be too fast, but at the same token, I don't want it to be too slow either. And now I'm going to change the pitch by a whole step from C to D. So to do that, I got to go change it by 20%. So each half step is 10%. So going from C, I have C, C sharp, D. So now it's going to play the first two notes. All right, let's use the start sound guitar 2. Let's go back to 0.5 because that's what I was doing before. That's better. So C, C. Now I can click on this and duplicate it. That will play 3 Cs. We don't want this one to be a C. So in between, I'm going to change the pitch now by 20% to get to my D. Now I could also choose a D on here, but just to figure out how to do it if I don't have those choices like I did before. So C, C, D. My next note should be an E. So I'm going to duplicate those 3 blocks. So now it changed by another 20%. I didn't have to do anything, right? So now the next note is going back to a C. So it's going to go C, C, D, E, C, E, D. So what I'd like to do now is a little bit different. So I'm going to give this one a whole second, right? And now I'm going to go change the pitch. We want to come down 2 whole notes back to C. So we're going to go -40. Remember, -20 brings it down a whole note, +20 brings it up a whole note. So if I want to go down 2 whole notes, I got to go -40 and then start the guitar sound. Right? C, C, D, E, C. Now we're going to go up back to the E. So I'm going to duplicate that and change that to a +40. And then I'm going to duplicate it again. And now I'm going to go down 20. So now when I play it, I have a D there at the end. Okay, so my wait times are off. Let's do each of these 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, and then we're going to put the 1 second wait after this where there's the pause. So now I need a 1 second wait because now I have the pause. C, C, D, E, C, E, D. And then we're going to repeat the C, C, D, E again. So if I want to, I can go, this was C, C, D, E, right? So after that, I can duplicate this whole section. I'm going to put it down over here, reattach that, and attach it at the bottom. So now when I play, okay, now I'm going to go down from there. So let's go to the half second, 0.5. And now we're going to go down from the E, we're going to jump down to the C, which is 40 again. So I'm going to change pitch by -40 because we're going down, and play the sound. Okay, now I got to go down another half step now from a C to a B. So to get a half step, what I need to do is I need to duplicate this section here. When I attach it, I don't want this to be -40, I need it to be -10 because I'm only going down a half step from a C to a B. In music, there's no half note in between a B and a C, and there's no half note between an E and an F. So that's just something you kind of have to know, which might be easier to choose the notes that it gives you, but this should sound accurate now. Okay, so this is a longer wait. This should be 1. Let's try it again. Okay, so now we're at a B. We want to go back to C. A couple ways we can get there. We can clear sound effects again. We want to add some wait time again. So let's add another 1 second. again, we're going to repeat that same first section. That's C, C, D, E. So we can copy that section if we want to. Duplicate that whole section. And then just drag it down to the bottom. Now it keeps going up. So now we're going up above that E. We hadn't been above that E before. So we have to go up again from an E to an F. Now I said E to an F is a half step. So we're going to go up by 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this section and put it on there. I don't want to hear it back right now. Bring it up from an E to an F. So we're going to go up 10. Now we're going to come back down to an E again. So we're going to come back down 10. So we're going to make this a negative 10. Okay, I didn't put any wait time in there. So let's put that 0.5 seconds. Okay, so we're going to go to D. So we're going to go down now 20. So I'm going to copy these three and change this negative 20. And now we're going to go back down another negative 20. So we're going to duplicate that. It's going to bring us back to our C where we started. All right, so we got to go down to a B. Again, I said from a C to a B is a half step. It's not a whole step. There's no sharp or flat in between C and B. So I'm going to duplicate that again and change this to a 10, negative 10. Okay, now it skips. We have something called a skip where it goes 2 whole notes down. So we want to go down 40. So we're going to duplicate that again, but we're going to change this to negative 40 this time. Now we're going to climb back up from the G. So we want to go up by 20. We're going to duplicate it and put it in here and change that to negative, to positive 20. Back to a B, so we're going to go up another 20. Remember, we dropped 40 from the B to get down to the G. So now we got to 2 steps of 20 bring us back to the B, and then we're going to end up on our C. We need 2 C's at the end. So remember, from B to C is a half step, so I'm going to change that by 10 instead of by 20. Okay, so now I need a 1 second wait, and we're going to stay at the same pitch. So I'm going to add a 1 second wait in here. I'm going to copy just the bottom one and put it over here for a minute. And we're going to keep our since we're not changing our pitch, we shouldn't need to have any of these change pitch bys at the end. And this should be the end of our song. So and there we are. You can add one of the events to start it. Before I was using when the sprite was clicked, so I'll put that back on. And not when I click the cat, because it's not on the cat. The code is on the guitar. So when I click on the guitar, it's going to play the song. All right, and if we want to change the sound of the guitar, we could actually use some of those other blocks that will change the pitch effect. All right, so what I would like you to do is play with the sound effects for this lesson. I'd like you to create your own song or look up the notes for a song and try to create it. You don't necessarily have to do the percentage. If you choose an instrument, it gives you a whole range of sounds. Remember, here we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then another C. So this is a key of C. Now, the difficulty with using these is we're coming up to F, so we're using these 4 notes, but then we go below this C, and these are actually going higher, this A, B, and C. So you're still going to have to figure out how to calculate those by using those percentages by changing the notes. But if you play something that's within this range, if you find a song or develop a song within this range, I'd like to see you create your own song. So get the cat or another character, make him a rock star or whatever, or make her a rock star, or a country singer or whatever you like, and try to develop a song for an instrument. There are lots of instruments, there are lots of different sounds, and you can develop your sounds. So I would like to see you develop something if you choose this project, creating your own song or doing a song other than Yankee Doodle, the one that I demonstrated. Pick something simple, of course, you don't want something complicated. And you can look up many songs, what the notes are online. Try to find something that you don't have to pay for that's free. And try to figure out the timings. Obviously, you don't have music class, you don't know a lot of these things. So I'm not going to be grading you on how accurate it is. I just like to see you experiment with it and play with it and try and get the timings as close to as your ears are telling you are correct, and get the notes as close to what you want. Obviously, if you create your own song, it'd be nice to hear what your ideas are for music. All right, so let's give it a shot, let's play with it, and I'm looking forward to hearing everybody's song. Have a great day.